Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder at the RTS League channel and I welcome you to today's stream. It is gonna be basically the culmination of the whole season 29 of Age of Mythology Titans Clan League, and it's the grand finals between Deities of Death and KeeN. We're gonna be having a best of 5 with 2 preset maps. The first one is gonna be Valley of Kings on blind pick with Conquest. Well, let's just remind everybody. And well, the second set map would be potentially map 4, there is gonna be Midgard, but between those, of course, there are gonna be map 2 and 3, and those are gonna be home maps for both of these clans. So far, of course, we don't know who is gonna be playing what gods. You're gonna be seeing that as soon as this game starts. And well, teams are gonna be for this first game, for Deities of Death, they are gonna be represented by Joe, Brighead, and Shelty, and for KeeNs it's gonna be Flame, aka the dollar sign, Green Sea Squash, Squash, and Omega X Blast, and they are still having more as a potential replacement, which might be coming a bit later. So far he's having a bit of fun in the chat, hopefully he's gonna be behaving correctly and helping his team from the bench for some kind of better improvements and better performance in the game. But here we go, apparently we're gonna be starting, so music off, here we go, GLHF. Game 1 is starting on Valley of Kings, on Conquest, and I'm definitely curious if the players have prepared some special strategies and what kind of gods they are gonna be playing. So far you could be expecting Joe as an Isis, something like, I was wanting to say Egyptian, but I was just hard going for Isis, apparently it's gonna be Ra. But I'm liking the gods from the other team, from KeeNs. That seems fun. That seems fun indeed. As you can see, KeeNs Flame is gonna be playing Kronos. Nice. Omega X Blast Zeus, that's of course his main god. And last player, Green Sea Squash, is gonna be playing Oranos. So basically that's quite an aggressive lineup. But Valley of Kings by itself is not exactly an aggressive map. It's more on the defensive side, especially with all the bandit Migdols all around it. But for Deities of Death, Joe gonna be playing Ra. Brighead is his Thor. Well, he's also quite partial to Poseidon lately. And Shelty playing Odin. That's fun. That is actually quite an interesting aggressive lineup for both teams, more or less. Considering that this map is really more on the defensive side, so I'm very kind of curious what they are going to be hoping to do. This map is of course signified by the fact that they are starting with large gold mines, because otherwise the gold mines are in the middle of the map, basically guarded by bandit Migdols somewhere in the darkness in there. Let's see if he discovers some first. It's just a bit of a monument in there, some elephants. Nice hunt for Joe on the left side, as he's also of course knowing where all the TCs are. Or does he? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. This is actually right now given to us by KeeNs, as Great Hunt has been already cast by Shelty. That was on the goatees? Or was it on the hunt somewhere in the front? No, it really seems that it was probably on the goats, which in that case might be a bit too soon, but maybe it was kind of combination on the rhinos. Yeah, he probably wants to be having 2 of those, as he didn't discover all that much of a hunt. Quite probably. I would be expecting so, that he actually didn't discover all that much of a hunt. There was just a few alliance on the left side. He knows about the chickens, they are his starting ones, and even more lions. So yeah, he probably wasn't all that happy about what he has found. And that finding was kind of nothing, even though, wow. Right now, maybe he used it there. I haven't really noticed. I'm really sorry about that. Maybe somebody in the chat did. And I'm kind of thinking this is just a double hurt. Yeah, this seems like a double hurt in there, but still plenty of food for all the players. Definitely up for the taking, as Brigade is already moving forward. And will be quite interested in even getting for a few of those lines, because it's still quite valuable food. It's definitely going to be useful. You have already seen what this map is all about, the Valley of Kings. As of course, those golds are gonna be all protected by the Migdol, and it's gonna be the same across the map. You can see secondary in there, tertiary. Yeah, it's gonna be all about the map, pretty much the same, and you need to take down the Migdols before you can reach the gold. Let's switch on to the other side of the map, for example, as players are still right now on the rhinos, especially for the pocket player right now Flame, whereas chickens on the right, and he's kinda curiously not really going for the rhino. Not entirely certain was the reason, and oh, those 2 Elise. Really? Yeah. For a moment I thought that actually he's not controlling his villages, but yeah, he definitely is. And he's probably gonna be needing a bit of micro. Otherwise this elephant, yes, would be quite a huge amount of damage to one. and might be even killing it. So we're fine, and he's fine as well, so he will be quite nicely ready. He does have hunting dogs, so everything seems to be going quite fine for him. Plenty of hunt on the left side, as you can see for Green Sea Squash. Even this hunt is actually quite nicely positioned for the red player, because it's not exactly in the front, which means that it's gonna be a bit easier to defend, potentially. Let's see if that's gonna be coming true, and those elephants, I definitely like them, and you can see how many there are, actually. It's looking like some kind of double-double. Quite probably so, and it might be something where actually Flame is gonna be moving forward, but at the same time, you might be wanting to be a whole lot more careful, because of course the ages are gonna be clicking in reasonable time, as we are already at 3:30. So what are the relics, for example? Better villager food carrying capacity, not bad at all. Not bad at all, as I'm probably gonna have to deal with a bit of a nuisance in the chat. So sorry for this bit of a pause. And are there actually some mods in the channel? I hope so, because it seems that you might be needing a bit of help. So Miracle Man, yeah, I see you. I see you there. Please don't be afraid to ban this one guy, because he might be coming back in there. So hopefully he won't too much. He will be getting bored soon enough. As we are looking into Yellow's base, he's still having plenty of goatees in there, but he's not coming for husbandry, as he's coming at this point for at least hen ducks. And let's check what the gods are gonna be. Well, Freya for Odin, that's okay. And it's gonna be Forseti for Thor. Wow, really? Forseti for Thor, now that's fun. That is sounding really fun right there. That's gonna be coming out of the Ptach, of course, for Ra, that's making plenty of sense. On the right side is of course gonna be Athena, and quite a late one though, for Omega X Blast. Then Prometheus for, of course, the Kronos and the Oranos, so basically those are kinda okay. But this Athena is interesting, and most definitely this Heimdall is, or Forseti is interesting. That was kinda unexpected, to be honest, for Brighead. I hope that he hasn't forgotten that he's not Loki. Well, kinda guessing not, but already walling coming up, as Shelty wants to be prepared, so that he is not surprised by anything all that much. You can see even the backside is gonna be quite nicely guarded, even though he's still gonna be wide open in there. He might want to, well, it's gonna be hard, because there's this big roll, and it will be making walling a bit difficult. Potentially there could be a wall there to protect the TCs and whatever, but yeah, so far that's not really happening, as the 515 advances, interesting advances, but it's gonna be resulting into secondary TCs, quite probably for Omega X Blast. I'll be thinking so, but so far what we see is just normal military academy, and apparently it's gonna be just a standard Athena Rush. I was kinda thinking it might be a bit of a combination, since we are in a team game, like Athena Rush combined with second TC for some good economy and whatnot, but apparently it's really gonna be rushing into the attack, so let's see how it's gonna be working, because of course second TC is almost up for Joe, as he's already also walling up. Well, there is a wall missing most definitely in there, just to basically plug it, as there is some first battle going on for Brigade and Shelty, and this is a big problem for them, because they are forced off a very bountiful amount and huge amount of zebras. They will be quite happy about that, if they actually could stay there, but they cannot. And do they have some extra hunts somewhere back? A few lions. Well, still it's about 400 food, so why not? Could be useful. Some crocodile, more lions, so this is actually very nicely played right about now by KeeNs, as they are forcing their opponents of more or less the only hunt they're having. There are a few elephants potentially available, as you can see that Ra is already switching into farms, so that could be coming for one of the Norses. I'm still having at least one of the rhinos in there, so of course Armor is coming up for the Ra, who will be definitely coming for faster heroic, but is it gonna be fast enough? 2TC faster heroic is coming about 8.5 minutes in, or something like that. And right now with the Athena Rush, it might be getting a bit tricky, as Shelty is having plenty of Lusarks, which are not exactly the greatest of units against this combination that is right now coming up. And those horses from the Thor exactly aren't either. So right now I'm kinda confused why Brighead really went for Forseti, because it just at this point doesn't make all that much of a sense. Maybe for the Trolls? Well, he's not really making all that many of them, so I don't think that actually is the case. That's probably not the case all that much, so not entirely certain. But we'll see pretty soon, I guess. He's gonna be having at least a few Hersiers that are potentially gonna be helping against the mythical units. So, here we are, right next to the TC of Shelty. How is it looking with some god powers? 15 cents for Joe definitely could help. Otherwise, not much. Joe's reign. Yes, that's absolutely right now important. A very good idea. And it's basically right now coinciding also with his economy going into the classical age, because he's already getting ready for that. We have seen all those farms, so it's basically just lucky timing for him a bit. And kinda unlucky for KeeN because they couldn't use the restoration, which would be exactly useful at about maybe this moment. You can see the amount of hoplites is definitely nice. And the rain is more or less like ceasefire at this point. It's really basically having the same effect. And what should probably happen would be Omega X Blast upgrading those hoplites. That's something I would definitely do at this stage, because it's 150, 150, that's kinda dirt cheap. Oh well, maybe having a bit of idles in there. Two villages, or rather two players gathering from the same elephant. It's usually heading for a problem, one of them idling in there a bit later. But Temple coming up from Flame, this is definitely telling us that they want to right now assault the TC, and for some reason it wasn't really repaired all that much by Shelty. That's kinda strange. And is there somebody advancing? Let's quickly check. There's gonna be some safe. There's gonna be Hathor just now, so yeah, it's not gonna be in time at all. One, the construction on Longhouse is definitely a great idea. We'll be slowing down any kind of reinforcements from Shelty, as this TCS at this time toast. We still have the restoration, which is now coming up, so goodbye TC. And Shelty is in pretty deep trouble, because without the town center, without the extra shooting, I'm not exactly certain how he's gonna be able to hold this situation, because the towers are not present. There are no towers on Valley of Kings, you can see absolutely nowhere. The towers, so not any kind of extra help. And that means that this is actually very well thought through by KeeNs, and they are pushing quite strongly through the middle, and they are basically owning this part of the map quite well. Quite well indeed, and they seem to be right now forcing yellow off the gold quite assuredly, and he will have to rebuild somewhere later. So basically right now it's gonna be all up to where did he actually shift them? Somewhere a bit, yeah, under the Migdol. That's actually quite a lot of army, actually. You can see that's plenty of army being shifted there. That's quite a bit. But right now with the heroic aid from Joe, it's gonna be his turn to somehow save the day. I was kinda thinking that maybe he could have wanted to switch into Sekhmet. Rack can go Sekhmet, right? I'm not speaking nonsense. Yes, Sekhmet for the Citadel. Because I kinda think it could be a good idea to help Team Abrickhead, because he's gonna be under attack very soon as well. But at the same time, if they can already produce some Migdol units, which definitely could be true at this point, then it's gonna be getting infinitely harder for KeeNs to actually push forward. But yeah, well, they already did kill more or less one of the players. Even though Shelty does have a few villages here and there, this is damn risky. This is right next to the battlefield. Should be running somewhere else. Like, for example, even here, or maybe on those alleys, because at this point, they could be probably thinking that all the attention of KeeNs is right in here in the base. You can see even Flame is sending all his buildings in there as he's housed. Having 99% of the Cairo Ballista, which is nice idea to switch into that. We'll switch into that, as of course, to finish my thought, the attention on the other parts of the map is gonna be quite low for KeeNs, and that means that, for example, Shelty or even his teammates could be using the opportunity to get the resources outside of their bases quite safely on the other side of the map. But so far this is really working very well indeed for KeeNs. They are really pushing forward, but I'm kinda right now worried about them fighting with hoplites against units. They should be basically using hoplites to get rid of the houses and the buildings. Just don't fight units with them. Leave it up to the Toxotai and all the how's it called, Turmas. They're just gonna be enough. And if you don't get rid of the buildings, like, you're just basically wasting valuable time. You're wasting, unfortunately, valuable time, and unfortunately no upgrade still for the hoplites, for the Toxotai either. But he's right now hoping that he can actually supply enough army in there, and he is still at 1 TCs, but he is kind of spreading outside. And this TC, oh, well, if this is going to be continuing like this, the Scuddy is not coming up. His Scuddy is not coming up, and so far Joe is definitely not carrying as he should be, but it's really hard. It's not like it will be any kind of easy task. Yeah, that's not any kind of help. And exactly, this is the reason why I thought that Citadel would be the better choice than the Hathor. So he should have went Sekhmet. The Citadel will be having about, how is it, 500 hit points more? Something like that. A few hundred more, which could have kept this alive for a bit longer and make it a bit more daunting for the opponents. But it was very well played by KeeNs. They weren't afraid of anything, and they are taking the lead quite deservedly in the grand finals 1-0. It was nicely played. Nicely played, and that's always kind of heartwarming to see aggressive strategy when Titans tend to be all about kind of booming and defensive ones. It was really well done. Well done indeed, and the Teeth of Death were definitely surprised by what came for them. Nice. Let's see how it's gonna be looking in the post-game. It's of course gonna be Omega X Blast having the high score in there. Well, I kinda thinking that all three played exactly as they should have. Green Sea Squash, Flame and Omega. I really think that the trio really executed the strategy properly. And they were rewarded with a victory, of course. So we're gonna be heading into the second game. That is gonna be home map for Clan Deities of Death. Let's see what they are gonna be choosing. Yeah, only one Heroic Age. And, well, the game was just not about Heroic Ages this time. Omega X Blast just 2 upgrades. That's literally Hunting Dogs and Classical Age. That's kinda fun. Considering he advanced at 515, which is an upgrade that should be allowing you Hand Axe and Pickaxe. Well. That is something interesting, but still, it worked out for them. So, GG.